Good evening, and right before we dive in, I'd like to quickly mention that over on Epoch TV, I just published an awesome episode detailing how, unbeknownst to most people, there's a giant push in this country right now to scale up the use of both mRNA technology as well as gene therapy on the livestock that eventually winds up on our supermarket store shelves. Meaning that whether it's beef, pork, lamb, chicken, or turkey, the meat that you're buying from the store could very soon contain the remnants of mRNA-based vaccines that the animals were treated with. And that's if they don't already contain them. If you'd like to check out that awesome episode, the link will be right there at the very top of the description box. Just click on that link and you can head on over and watch the episode right away. Now, getting back to today's topic, as most people expected, the sudden departure of Tucker Carlson created more problems for Fox than it did for Tucker. Because while on the one hand you have Fox's ratings on their 8 p.m. time slot completely dip, going down 50%, meaning in practice that Fox lost about 1.6 million viewers after forcing Tucker out of the company, on the other hand, Mr. Tucker himself has been getting offers left and right. For instance, shortly after his departure from Fox, the CEO of One American News invited Tucker to meet for contract negotiations. You had Glenn Beck lobbying for Tucker to join Blaze TV. The president of Newsmax reportedly offered Tucker a major position at their station. And then, of course, you had Roman, the host of Facts Matter, reminding Tucker that if he happened to be watching this program, well, he should be smashing those like and subscribe buttons so that the YouTube algorithm will be forced to share this information out to ever more people. However, that aside, the biggest and perhaps the most serious offer for Tucker came from Mr. Patrick Bet David, the founder of Valuetainment. In the letter of intent, which you can see for yourself, it was posted online to their website this past Tuesday, Tucker Carlson was given the offer of $100 million over 5 years, an equity stake in Valuetainment, a position to become the president of the company, a seat on the board of directors, as well as leaving open other possible terms that Tucker might be interested in negotiating. This is the first completely public job offer that's been made thus far, and it also happens to be the biggest. Here's a short excerpt from the letter explaining their intent. Quote, "Our conviction about freedom, liberty, and truth run deep, and we believe we are the absolute right fit for you and America. While we may not be the biggest media company, we are a new media leader driving into the future to make truth, fair debate, and commentary more accessible, consumable, and protected. We are 100% serious about our offer." Now, for your reference, Valuetainment is an online content company, although they also do have live events as well. Across all social media platforms, they have about 14 million followers, including 4 million on YouTube alone. And in an interview with Miss Megan Kelly, Mr. Patrick Bet David, who is again the founder of Valuetainment, he explained his rationale for extending this $100 million offer to Tucker. Here's what he said.
"It's going to be 40 years of media because I truly believe we need a media company to fight the fight that we have today in America and worldwide." As a guy that's an immigrant from Iran and saw what it was like living in Iran, to a mother whose family was a communist, to a father whose family was an imperialist. And then I lived in Germany in the refugee camp for a couple of years, and I came to the States, went to the 101st Airborne Division, and I've been blessed through the system of capitalism to make good money. Be here with Valuetainment. We may not be the biggest. Obviously, there's a lot of bigger names out there. But if you want to team up with somebody that's got the vision in place, the cause in place, and it's a true believer on how great of a country America is, that is worth fighting for, and the fight is a real fight because the enemy is real, we feel we're the right fit to partner with somebody like Tucker Carlson. I said, you know what's the best indicator to find out who was all about money and who was all about a true vision and a cause? They said, what? The moment people make money, watch how they react. When people make money, most people slow down. It was all about money. But when you make money and fame and accolades and you get stopped in the streets, everywhere you go, at the airport, in private airports, and you still get up in the morning with the same fire in your belly to go out there and do the fight, it was never about money for you. There are very few people left in America at that level who have made the money that's about a true cause. I think Tucker's one of them.
Now, for your reference, this $100 million offer would be in about the same ballpark as the money that Tucker was already reportedly getting from Fox before they split ways. According to this article here from Forbes magazine, which was published back in April, Tucker was earning somewhere between $15 to $20 million per year while hosting Tucker Carlson Tonight. And so that's roughly about the same as the offer that he just received from Valuetainment. However, a big question that's still looming in the air is whether or not Tucker could technically even entertain such an offer from a legal perspective. That's because at this very moment, it's not exactly clear what the terms were of the contract that Fox had him sign. For your reference, by the way, Fox is pretty notorious in the media industry for locking people up in these exclusive non-compete contracts, which is why you often don't see Fox News personalities appear on any podcasts, any other news programs, any other documentaries, any op-eds in newspapers, or anything else outside of the general Fox ecosystem. And according to this article here, published yesterday in the Washington Post, Tucker's contract with Fox supposedly runs until 2024, making it, in practice, something like a gag order against him during the entire run-up to the 2024 presidential election. Here's how the article describes the situation. And please note, again, this is the Washington Post, and they are relying on an unnamed source close to Tucker. So take the validity of these paragraphs with a grain of salt. However, I will mention that I've seen other news outlets report something similar, and so either all these news outlets are relying on the same anonymous source, or there are multiple people saying the same thing, or perhaps they're all lying. And so with that caveat aside, here's what the Washington Post reported. Quote, Carlson is scrambling to try to avoid the fate of other once towering former Fox News personalities who, in exile from the network, have found lucrative gigs but nothing like their former positions of influence. Carlson's Fox contract reportedly runs through the end of 2024, which would limit his options, though a source close to Carlson said he might accept less money than he is owed to be able to get back into the media game before then. Hollywood lawyer Brian Friedman, who is allegedly representing Carlson, did not respond to a message asking about his contractual status. Now, amidst all these backroom contract negotiations, as well as amidst Fox's decline in ratings, something strange began happening 2 days ago. Suddenly, these leaked videos began to appear online showing Tucker Carlson behind the scenes at his own program. These videos were being shared by operatives from a left-wing nonprofit called Media Matters, which has for years now been critical of both Tucker and everything he stands for. And from the way that these leaked videos were framed, the way that they were being presented to the public, it seemed to be an attempt to damage Tucker Carlson's image. However, it appears to have backfired. Judging by the tens of thousands of comments that were left underneath those leaked videos, it appears that they actually had, you can say, the opposite effect, actually ingratiating Tucker even more by showing him as just an average guy behind the camera. Let me show you just a few excerpts from these leaked videos, and you can decide for yourself. All right, I wanted to take a super quick moment and introduce the sponsor of today's episode, the one, the only, My Patriot Supply, America's most trusted preparedness company. Look, when the invariable food shortages hit America, and everybody is quite literally forced to eat these quote-unquote earth chips, which for your reference are made with some delicious cricket powder, listen, you don't want to be eating this. Instead, you want to stock up today on emergency food for when the invariable stuff hits the fan. And so head on over to mypatriotsupply.com and buy their 3-month emergency food kits, because those food kits, they will provide you and your family with 2,000 calories per day right when you need it the most. And they'll come in the form of breakfasts, lunches, dinners, as well as snacks that can last in your cupboard for up to 25 years. They are shipped quickly and discreetly directly to your doorstep. And best of all, for our viewers, for the viewers of Facts Matter, My Patriot Supply is throwing in an awesome bonus. $200 worth of survival gear that they'll throw in with your order. If you want to see the full list of the gear, you can head on over to their website. It'll be down in the description box below, or you can just head on over to mypatriotsupply.com. And so again, as I always say, pray for the best, but prepare for the worst. Head on over to mypatriotsupply.com and stock up on your emergency food today. Now let's head on back to the studio.
This company is thrilled that you're doing this. I've gotten more calls from people about it.
Oh, that's great. But I got to say, when I came to New York a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't believe how welcoming and friendly everybody was. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, they really mean it from the owners on down.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to see it. I like that. It's a good, people are nice in this company, I think. They've always been nice to me anyway.
I completely agree. Everyone's been very, very friendly and very nice, and I really appreciate it. But thank you so much for coming on. It's fantastic.
I bet that doesn't change. Of course.
Yeah. It's just great to have you on my show. I mean, I've been on yours enough times. It's great.
I think it's totally cool. So let's, if we're going to talk about sex, I'd love to hit some of the fine points of technique. But it's your show. It's totally up to you.
We can certainly talk about your sexual technique, especially after your tanning testicles last week.
Not mine. We'll speak in more general terms, but I've got something to add. You wouldn't? Okay. Okay. I'm not, you know what? I'm not qualified on that score, I will say. I thought his girlfriend was kind of yummy. Just kidding, in case this is being pulled off the bird. Yeah, the bird. Hey, media matters for America. Yourself. That's the first thing I want to say tonight. Second thing is, totally kidding, I don't even know what his girlfriend looks like. And if I did, I would not find her yummy. Can I ask you a question? You don't have to answer, it's personal. I'm not speaking of you, but more in general of ladies. When they go to the ladies' room and powder their noses, is there actually nose powdering going on?
Sometimes.
Ooh. I like the sound of that.
Most of the time it's lipstick.
Do pillow fights ever break out? You don't have to.
Not in the bathroom.
Okay, not in the bathroom. Okay. That'd be more a dorm activity. Okay.
This is naughty precise nurse territory.
I'm sorry. So you are such a good sport, such a good person. Thank you.
I got two brothers.
I know you do, but you do not deserve that, and I mean it with great affection.
I got you, man. Which way do you want to go?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Let me tune in. Well, I feel great. You know, I can never assess my appearance. I wait for my postmenopausal fans to weigh in on that. My IFB. What? They want to control me from afar? Okay, I'm putting the leash on. You can. We'll do it live. I got you, baby.
Now, initially, once these clips began to circulate across the internet, many people began wondering who was really behind the leak. There was a lot of speculation that Fox News themselves were the ones to leak the clips to Media Matters in order to damage Tucker's reputation. However, just earlier today, Fox Corporation, they sent over a cease and desist letter to Media Matters telling them to immediately stop publishing these clips. Here's part of what that letter said. This is again a letter from Fox Corporation to Media Matters. Quote, "That unaired footage is Fox's confidential intellectual property. Fox did not consent to its distribution or publication, and Fox does not consent to its further distribution or publication. The videos were given to Media Matters without Fox's authorization, and we demand that you cease and desist from distribution, publication, and misuse of Fox's misappropriated proprietary footage, which you are now on notice was unlawfully obtained." And so that was the statement from Fox's lawyer, essentially saying that Media Matters must stop these leaks right away and that they didn't have permission and don't have permission moving forward to publish any of these clips. However, I would love to know your thoughts. What do you think is really going on here? Do you think that this is a case of, let's say, Fox executives playing 4D chess by privately leaking the videos to Media Matters and then publicly condemning the leaks in this letter? Or is it perhaps the case of some rogue element within Fox, maybe some junior producer is leaking the videos over to the public completely outside of the chain of command, and that this letter from the lawyers can just be taken at its face value? And then furthermore, another question. What do you think is the reality of the situation in regards to Tucker's contract with Fox, the one that allegedly runs through the year of 2024? Do you think, as many people have speculated online, that this is a way to both take Tucker off the air, while at the same time preventing him from going anywhere else during the 2024 presidential election cycle? Or do you think that it's just a coincidence and not pre-planned at all? I'd love to know your thoughts. Please leave them in the comments section below. I'll be reading them later tonight as well as well into the weekend. And then lastly, as I mentioned at the very top of today's episode, over on Epoch TV, I recently published an awesome episode detailing how, unbeknownst to most people, there is a massive push in this country right now to scale up the use of both mRNA technology as well as gene therapy on the livestock across farms all across America that winds up on our supermarket store shelves. Meaning that whether it's beef, pork, lamb, chicken, or turkey, the meat that we're all purchasing from the store could very soon contain fragments of mRNA-based vaccines that the animals were treated with. And that is, by the way, if they don't already contain them. Now, even though that episode, in my opinion, is awesome, and it's 100% based on properly sourced facts, well, as you know, it doesn't really matter. Tucker Carlson had the limitations of Fox News, and I myself have the limitations of YouTube, with certain topics just not being welcome here no matter what. And so if you'd like to check out that episode, you can find it exclusively over on Epoch TV, our awesome no-censorship video platform. The link to that episode will be right there at the very, very, very top of the description box. All you have to do is click on that link, and you can head on over to Epoch TV and watch the episode right away. Again, link at the very top of the description box below. And then until next time, I'm your host, Roman from the Epoch Times. Stay informed, most importantly, stay free.